Hello everyone, it is Shadowswoman and I have the new free week champion rotation for you guys for League of Legends. As usual, going to go over the general items you can expect these champions to have, and the roles you can expect them to be playing. Let's jump right into things with Annie. Annie, you can see her be played as either AP mid or AP support, meaning she'll be getting pretty much the same items regardless of whatever lane she's in. But the items you can expect would be Rod of Ages, Luden's Echo, Rabadon's Death Cap, Zanya's Hourglass. What else? Maybe a Crystal Scepter. Maybe on that one. Don't quote me on that. That's a maybe. Pretty much your standard 120 AP items. Like I said, Rabadon's, Luden's Echo, and your Zanya's. Abyssal Scepter does not go amiss on her. And that's kind of it for her from my experiences. Once you've gotten to that point, your burst with Tibbers, Fireball, and Flame Breath, your RQW combo, everything should pretty much melt at that point. If they don't melt, then you need to get more AP somehow by getting more Rod of Ages, probably. My guess. Just my guess. Yeah, that's it. And again, can be played either in the mid lane or bottom as support. Next, we have Caitlyn, who everybody knows her by now, or at least hope so. You can see her primarily in the bottom lane, building items such as a Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, maybe a Static Shiv, maybe on that one. A Black Cleaver wouldn't be bad on her as well. And this is my personal favorite on her, getting the, Essence Reaver, as well as a Bloodthirster. Because Essence Reaver will give you the mana back that you spend on your Peacemaker, as well as your ult. And, yeah, you spend a lot of mana. So it's a good way to get damage, lifesteal, and regen mana while attacking. Which, hey, what ADC won't want or need that at some point? But again, primarily see her in the bottom lane as ADC. Next we have Cassiopeia, and you can expect to see her primarily in the middle lane. I have seen her in the bottom lane as support once or twice, but 99 out of 100 times she will be in the mid lane. Again, items you can expect to see on her would be Luden's Echo, Rabadon's Death Cap, Zanya's, Landry's Torment. What else? A Crystal Scepter. And that's pretty much going to round out your items. You might want to replace the Landry's Torment later on for something along the lines of Abyssal Scepter. That's just personal preference. I've seen people hold a Landry's Torment the entire game because it's still good, especially when you've got tanks, you got Warmogs and Sunfire Cape, and just stack massive amounts of health. It's definitely good for burning their health away. But again, primarily in the mid lane and belt is AP. Next we have Lucian, or Lucian, however you want to pronounce it. To me, it's same thing, different toilet bowl, pretty much. Or same thing, different way of saying it, rather. Primarily in the bottom lane as ADC. Items you can expect to see on him would be Last Whisper, Infinity Edge, a Static Shiv does not go amiss on him that I've seen. Phantom Dancer, if I don't remember if I said that. Bloodthirster. Pretty much you're going to want your standard ADC items with maybe a tiny bit more emphasis on attack speed, just because your ultimate is based upon your attack damage as well as your attack speed. I mean, don't go completely overboard with it, but, I've gotten items like Trinity Force or Iceborne Gauntlets on Lucian before, just for the increased damage as well as mana, and it certainly helps, but it's not necessary. And, yeah, extra attack speed's always nice. But, your Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, those are going to be your generic, pretty much standard items. And again, you expect to see him played in the bottom lane. Next, we have Shaco, who I've seen jungle and mid and top and support, all of which are played just about, the same as far as items go. Uh, I mean, top lane Shaco, you are more AD focused because you're going to be split pushing while your team's like defending or pushing themselves. And you're going to be getting items such as like a Ravenous Hydra, Static Shiv, Infinity Edge, etc., etc. Your standard AD items. If you're going to be going the other route, which is AP, you're going to be getting something like Lichbane, Eluden's Echo, Rabadon's Death Cap, and that'll pretty much, wrap you up for the rest of the game. You don't really go hybrid on Shaco as much as people want to say you can. You're either one or the other. If you want to split push, you go attack damage. If you want to, burst people down, you go ability power. That's just from what I've seen and how I've played him. So, he can be played top lane as a pusher with attack damage. He can be played jungle or mid with ability power and do just fine. I have seen AD jungle Shaco, and he still does good, but AP is the standard just because your jack-in-the-boxes get a lot more damage based upon your AP, as well as your Twin Shiv. It scales a little better with AP, plus AP items are cheaper, it seems like. I don't know. But yeah, I would say primarily jungle or top, and the two varying ways you can play them are AD top or jungle AP. Moving on, next we have Singed. Singed, you'll, I want to say just about 100% of the time see him up at top. There might be that point, like 2% chance you see him in a different lane, but he'll be primarily top, and you'll be seeing items such as a Crystal Scepter on him, Rod of Ages, Randuin's Omen, maybe a Warmogs, a Sunfire Cape, your general tank items. With the mixture of ability power and mana in there. Because I think for every certain amount of mana he has, it goes to health. That's why like a Rod of Ages and a Crystal Scepter are pretty good for him. Also seen a Landry's Torment Belt on him, which isn't bad, but it's also not good. I just would not recommend it. If you're going to go ARAM and get Singed, then sure. Or if you just want to troll, then sure, why not? But your general items would be Rod of Ages, maybe a Crystal Scepter, and, tank from there on out. Also, an Abyssal Scepter does not go amiss on him either, because he will be in the middle of those team fights, and minus 20 magic resist to hit all of his enemies around him is pretty huge, especially for an AP mid like, Annie or Cassiopeia. But again, you can see in the top lane built AP with a mixture of tank items in there. Next we have Talon, who you can see played primarily in the mid lane, built with items such as Ravenous Hydra, Ravenous Hydra, Yomu's Ghostblade. I tend to get a Black Cleaver on him, and people might laugh at this, but a Static Shiv, it does help a lot, but only for the movement speed. Nothing else, really. And that's pretty much it. I mean, when I've gotten to the point where I've gotten my Ravenous Hydra, I'm close to just killing anybody within my ultimate anyway, so never really gotten too far, but some items are pretty good on him. I would say Iceborne Gauntlet, or not Iceborne, Trinity Force, maybe. That's a huge maybe, by the way. That's like, if you want to troll, go ahead and get it. But otherwise, Ravenous Hydra, you want to get, like I said, I'd personally get a Static Shiv on him, just because it helps with attack speed, as well as movement speed. A Black Cleaver, and then, depends on what you need from there. Phage is always going to be good for the increased movement speed, as well as the damage. Actually, no, never mind, you'll get that with Black Cleaver, so yeah. Last Whisper is going to be good on him as well. And then it varies depending on what your team, or what you feel is more necessary to either A, help you survive longer, or B, help you kill faster so you can survive longer. It's really up to you from there, but the items I mentioned are pretty much staple on Talon at this point. And again, primarily in the mid lane, I have seen some of top belts the same way, however. Next, we have Trundle, who can be played either the jungle or top. And either way, you're going to be very, very, very beefy if you're going jungle, I would not be surprised if you got a Cinder Hulk, or skip the Cinder Hulk and go for the armor penetration one and cooldown reduction jungle item. I mean, for Xin and Trundle, I'm going to pretty much name off the same item, so I really won't cover Xin because both of them fill kind of the same role. But, I mean, I'll cover Xin just a little bit, but because they do vary a little bit in items, but generally the items are the same with a little variation. So, you know, you're going to be getting, Spirit Visage on both of them pretty much. You know, Black Cleaver on both of them. You're going to be getting, if you want to just be a troll on Trundle, because he's the Troll King, a Phantom Dancer for the movement speed, attack speed, and crit. Otherwise, you'll be going the more tanky route with, you know, maybe a Warmog, a Sunfire Cape, you know, something along that line. And a Randuin's Omen never goes amiss either. But, yeah, that's my extent on knowledge for Trundle. So, yeah, either top or jungle, built primarily the same way. Next, we got Zinzhou, or Zinhao. Again, tomato, who can be played top or jungle, primarily seen in the jungle, however. And items you can expect to see on him would be Trinity Force, a Zephyr, and then, like I said with Trundle, maybe a Ravenous Hydra. That's good on both of them. Zen can be played very, very bursty and not get so much of the tank items, but at that point you're going to be sacrificing a lot of survivability, but you'll be able to kill people pretty rapidly. But I tend to go the more survivable route with him, and I get that Spirit Visage, I get, you know, a Banshee's Veil as well, even though they're kind of both redundant to have on each other, still good. Zephyr is pretty much kind of necessary. Gives you cooldown reduction, gives you attack speed, damage, and movement speed. So yeah, that's kind of necessary for Xin. And then again, it kind of varies from there on what your team needs you to be more. Do they need you to be the burst, or they need you to be the tank? And you can kind of figure out from there where to go. If you go the tank route, Randuin's Omen, Sunfire Cape, and you got pretty much golden. Or if you want to go burst, you know, items such as Iceborne Gauntlets is actually pretty damn good on Xin because of the slowing field. And, what else? I don't know, Infinity Edge. Those are the first two that come into my mind. But yeah, guys, that's it on my knowledge for Xin and Trundle. Next, we're going to move on to Zyra, who I have played pretty well in the two lanes I've seen her in the most, which would be mid lane or the support at bottom. At both, you're going to be building almost the same way. You're going to be getting a, Athene's Unholy Grail for either one, because they did nerf her W. It doesn't give her, like, flat out, like, 20% cooldown reduction to where you don't need any other CDR. You do actually require some CDR now, which in that comes with, your Athene's Unholy Grail. And then you're going to be getting a Landry's Torment. And then it kind of, you know, situationally varies. I tend to go the more AP route with, you know, Rabadon's Death Cap. Get a Rod of Ages in there as well for the survivability, mana, and, you know, AP. And if I feel like it too, if I'm feeling frisky, I'll go for a Tear of the Goddess, turn it into an Archangel Staff, then Seraph's Embrace. But, yeah, it's generally, you know, kind of pick and choose which items you're going to get on Zyra that add AP, health, mana, and some sort of cooldown reduction. You pretty much only need Athene's Unholy Grail for your cooldown reduction, however. But, you know, Morella Nomicon certainly doesn't hurt either on any of the AP champions in this lineup. Whether it be Annie, Cassiopeia, or Zyra, a Morella Nomicon certainly helps. But you don't really need it on Zyra. Just because, I mean, if you're going to be over the cooldown reduction at that point, but still, the AP is always nice and the mana regen is always nice too. But, Yeah, she can be played either mid lane or the bottom lane support with AP as her focus. That's it, guys. My name has been Shadows Realm. If you have any comments, suggestions, anything like that, leave them in the comment section down below. And I will talk to you all next time.